There are only two tragedies in life. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it. Don't trap yourself with the desire of wanting. The paradox of getting what you want is that if we base our happiness on the expectation of great things, then achieving it removes the happiness, and you're left empty and full of desire. That's what desire truly is, a trap. Humans are walking paradoxes. We want what we can't have, and when we finally get what we've been craving, it's never enough. Desire is suffering. It is a contract that you make with yourself that you will be unhappy until you get what you want. But some people might say that desire keeps you going. Yet isn't it quite sad that you only consider yourself alive until you get what you want? You allow your unlimited desire to cloud your peace. True contentment comes from appreciating what you have, not from constantly seeking what you don't. Let go of endless desires and find joy in the present moment.
All right, Shalom. This is the brother Nahoya from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwat who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. This is Proverbs chapter 30, and I want to jump down to verse 7, and it reads, "Two things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my power in vain." All right, now I want to go into a lesson through the Spirit on the clip you just saw, which was a quote from a guy named Oscar Wilde, which was an Irish poet in the 1800s, born 1854, died 1900s. You know, from his pictures, he appears to be an Edomite, but being Irish, I wouldn't be surprised if he was Jake. But I want to deal with the quote that he brought out because it really goes back to the scriptures. And Proverbs, the 30th chapter, was one that stuck out to me amongst others through the Spirit. And that's contentment. You know, godliness with contentment is great gain. Let's get that. It's 1 Timothy 6:6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Now, because our people are, as the scriptures describe, poor and afflicted, they believe that money will solve all things. They believe that possessions will solve all problems. You know, particularly when you deal with the Israelite man, all right, Negro, Latino, and Native American men, you know, they believe that somehow money or possessions will fix the empty feeling they have inside. But ultimately, that can only be filled with Yahweh Shai Shai. All right, this is why you have our people who are successful concerning this world, but miserable because they don't have peace. Money doesn't buy peace of mind, you know, and we're learning that through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, that possessions aren't going to solve the problem for us. You know, it doesn't fix your confidence. It may boost it temporarily, but the problems outweigh the perceived benefits. All right, this is Luke chapter 12:15. And this is why understanding the will of the Lord is so important, because when you understand all of the elements shall melt with fervent heat, you don't play this game, so to speak, as if it's a permanent game. You know, we go through our life, we handle our responsibilities, but we don't look at the things that we gain or lose in this world as the end all be all, because we know there's something greater. You know, our hope is greater, and it doesn't live inside of the desire of possessions. You know, because basically what he was going into was the desire of having something and then actually getting it. And when you don't have the peace of Yahweh Shai, both of them are tragedies. All right, this is Luke chapter 12:15. And it reads, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth." And when you read this in the NLT, it says, "Then he said, Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. All right. And when you deal with us as a nation of people, our people are chasing rest in all the wrong places because they think that possessions, they think that money is going to fix it. And it doesn't. Ultimately, contentment through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai is what leads to peace. And that peace is only brought to you by Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, let's go here. I say it often through the spirit that, brothers, as much hell as brothers catch, your sleep is sweeter than the rich of the rich in this world. Now, it's hard for most people to believe that because from the outside looking in, you would think that the so-called rich person is in a better case, but they don't have peace of mind. They don't have peace, especially Israelites that gain that type of notoriety in this society. They don't have peace at all. All right, this is John chapter 14 and 27. And it reads, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." All right, and peace of mind is priceless. You understanding what the will of the Lord is, you understanding what is going to happen at the end of this society, gives a certain level of comfort that money cannot buy. And this is why contentment is so important. And this is what takes me back to 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter, because let's get it. This is 1 Timothy 6 and 6. "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out." All right, now when you get this word contentment, and the Greek is autarkia. Autarkia. All right, let me see if I can play it.
Strong's G, 841. Austarkia. Austarkia.
All right, and it says, "A perfect condition of life in which no aid or support is needed. Sufficiency of the necessities of life. A mind contented with its lot," which is powerful. A mind contented with its lot. Call Allah Miyabashmal Shah, Adawan Ratazah. That is great godliness, to be content with your lot. And to have this truth puts you in the best lot on earth. Regardless of what your eyes may behold concerning the lifestyle of people on the outside looking in. You have the greatest position that you could ever imagine for your life. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. You are slated for salvation. And this is why Yahweh Shai said, take no thought for your life. All right, because a lot of times, Jake, is, it's human nature to be occupied in thoughts of the past or the future. Where the Lord exhorts us to not take those type of thoughts, but to be present, to be content. Paul said, "I know how to be abased and abound." Why? Because his anchor, the anchor of his soul, was Yahweh Shema Shai, his faith in the Lord, not in possessions. This is why these rappers talk about possessions so much, because their whole existence is dependent on possessions. Their whole identity is defined by what they have in this society, the status they have in this society. Whereas when you come into this truth, you're anchored, your confidence is built on the Lord. So whether you have a little or a lot, it doesn't sway you. All right, as a matter of fact, I want to get this. So let's go to Matthew 6. And I'm going to jump down to verse 25. And I'm going to read this in the NLT. All right, we've read Matthew 6 and 25. I'm reading it in NLT. It says, "That is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life." Now think about this. This is in red letters. So this is the Lord. This is the King talking. Matthew 6 and 25. And he says, "That is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life. Whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing? Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to him than they are? All right. And the problem is that Jake doesn't really believe that. And it's because the society that Jake lives in has beat them down so bad that they don't believe that they're more valuable, all right, than birds. Because if they truly believe that, they wouldn't worry about everyday life like the Lord is exhorting. And this is why our faith is being built, Lord willing, until we all meet that full stature, that full measure, Lord willing. Verse 27 reads, can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And the answer is no. All right. Verse 28 reads, and why worry about your clothing? Look at the lilies of the field and how they grow. They don't work or make their clothing. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not dressed as beautifully as they are. Now, when you think about most of Jakes in the world, a lot of them are miserable because they're looking at other people's life. You know, they believe that the clothes that they wear and what they have in this world is somehow going to change how they feel on the inside. And the reality is that it doesn't. And the way we know that is because we see the ones that live in that lifestyle and the things that they say and the way they carry themselves in their countenance, and they're not at rest. All right, let's go here. And the Lord said it in Luke the 12th chapter. A man's life does not consist in the things which he possesseth. All right, it's Jeremiah 50:6. And it reads, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And see, our people are looking for rest in all the wrong places. They think that their rest is going to be in possessions or the desire, whatever desire of their heart. You know, some Jakes, they want a whole bunch of women until they get them. And then they realize that you just wanted it. It wasn't something that was going to heal you. It wasn't something that was going to make you feel full. Those Jakes that chase money, then they get it. And what do they say? More money, more problems. This is why the scriptures talk about godliness with contentment is great gain. That combination is great gain, not just contentment, because you have people in the world who are content, but they don't know the Heavenly Father. They don't have the truth. Godliness with contentment. And out of all the people on the earth, you just happen to have that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And this is what this quote reminded me of when I heard it. You know, as I was listening to it, it reminded me of these scriptures and how the Lord told us first. You know, a lot of people, they kind of take from the scriptures and then they step on it, they remix it. But it all goes back to the wisdom that we were given through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And when you think about it on your day-to-day through the spirit, you know, the Lord takes care of us. All right. Matter of fact, this is Psalms chapter 68:19, and it reads, blessed be the Lord who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the power of our salvation. Salah. So every day the Lord is taking care of us from day to day. But where Jake, especially in the world, where they get sidetracked is they start thinking about the past. And if they'd have made a better decision in the past, their present would be better. And then they're thinking about the future. And they're not really focused on the fact that the Lord is taking care of them as it stands this day. You know, when you think about Yahweh Shai's words, take no thought. Because ultimately, you're in the best case scenario through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And it's our job through the spirit to believe the Lord. All right, the Lord said what he said. He said his servant shall eat. His servant shall be merry and have abundance. The Lord said that in Isaiah the 65th chapter. It's our job, Lord willing, to believe that wholeheartedly. All right, this is Philippians 1:5. For your fellowship in the gospel from the first day until now, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. And that brings the lively hope. You know, godliness with contentment is great gain, because ultimately we know the will of the Lord is this society, the fashion of this world, is going to pass away. It doesn't mean we become negligent in our affairs in this world, but it means we don't hold it to any high regard. It doesn't carry the same weight that it carries for the average person in this world. You know, when you really come into the truth, the Lord begins to put your desires in check. You know, scriptures talk about mortifying your members. If you endure unto the end, the Lord does that through the straight gate. It's a natural part to the straight gate. You become more self-controlled, temperate, all right, which goes into self-control. And your desires become minimized because you understand it through wisdom, through wisdom's eyes, not just through looking at somebody's life from the outside in, all right? Looking at their highlight reel and assuming that their life is so much better. And that's the condition of 2/3 of our people. And that goes back to covetousness, which the Lord talked about in Luke, the 12th chapter. All right. Matter of fact, let's go back to Luke 12 and let's get that word covetousness. So I'm going to read the verse again. Luke 12:15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. All right. When you go into covetousness in the Greek, it is
Strong's G, 4124, pleonaxia. Pleonaxia.
And it reads, greedy desire to have more, covetousness, avarice. All right, it says Strong's definition, avarice, an example, by fraudulency, extortion, covetousness, practices, greediness. Now let's get this word avarice. All right, this word avarice says insatiable longing for material gain. Man, and that fits this quote perfectly. But it goes back to the scriptures ultimately. Godliness with contentment is great gain. And Yahushua said it first. You know, it's beautiful that these quotes come out, but then you automatically hear precepts in your mind through the Spirit that goes back to the Lord giving us this counsel first. All right, Luke 12:15 again says, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. Salakia, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. All right, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word and all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.